Eggs are the greatest ingredient in human history. There's no ingredient that can do as many things as an egg can, period. But there's two important questions. How are you supposed to know which one's the best? And how many ways can you even cook an egg in the first place? That's why today I'm gonna show you 100 ways to cook an egg. Now of those 100, we're gonna divide them into 4 categories: basics, classics, gadgets, and viral. Not like a viral infection, but that goes crazy. Within each category, I'll be showing you my top 3 ways to cook an egg. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is probably every way to cook an egg. So starting with number 1, over easy, non-stick, medium heat, butter. You're gonna crack in your egg, whites are set, scoop underneath, and then flip gently. Now, we've done the over process. We're gonna let it cook on the other side. For over easy, you're gonna cut off the heat within like 20 seconds. It's almost set. Feel that yolk? That yolk is nice and soft. You let it sit for too long, the yolk gets too cooked. And an over easy egg should be beautifully runny. Now what about over medium? Once it's flipped, you're gonna let this cook, obviously, longer. But what changes? This one you're gonna get more of a jammy texture. The yolk is not completely liquid. There's a little bit of solidity. The yolk is basically more cooked, but it's not fully hard. So what is fully hard? Obviously, this has been cooked all the way. So these are all over methods. But one comes fully liquid, one comes semi-liquid, and one comes fully hard and solidified. Now, I do wanna clarify something. Anything cooked hard, where you're cooking the yolk fully, like a hard-boiled egg, I do think there's a point of overcooking, and that is when the yolks are powdery. Moving on. Sunny side up eggs. That is an egg that has not been flipped. Why? The aesthetic of a beautiful yolk nestled, glistening in front of you. Non-stick pan, 10 inches, medium heat, little oil, and for flavor, a little bit of ba'a. Let it get hot, crack an egg in, let it naturally go where it wants to go. Big key, do not season the egg yet. You can if you want, but if you do, it'll add like a weird salt pattern that doesn't look as nice. The egg is moving freely, that means the whites are mostly cooked. Just to get that top cooked, there are 2 things you can do. You can either pop this in a hot oven or cut off the heat and then you cover it with a lid. With the heat off, you just let that sit till the top is set, which could happen anywhere between 25 to 50 seconds. It'll happen quickly. Do not overcook the yolk, very important. Voila, look at that, dude. Look how cute that is, man. That's beautiful. Now at this stage, I prefer to season it afterwards with a little bit of flaky salt right over the top and just a touch black pepper. On to fried. Biggest difference, I always do a fried egg in a stainless steel pan. In this 10-inch pan, we've got at least 2 tablespoons of oil. It's coating the whole bottom and we're on medium-high heat, just like we're searing a fine steak. Once the pan is ripping hot, egg, crack, in, center, should immediately bubble. Little salt, you gotta get that crispy edge. For 2 reasons, aesthetics, crunch, and actually a 3rd reason, so it releases properly from this pan. Let's serve. We are now on one of my top picks. Remember, we're picking a top 3 for every category, and this is one of my top 3. The fried egg, the Maillard, the lacy crunchiness. There's so many textures in this, but also toasty, roasty flavor. You still get one of my favorite components about a cooked egg, the beautiful runny yolk. It's good on everything, dude. You put this thing on a bagel, it's f***ing awesome. You put this thing on a piece of toast, it's awesome. By itself, it's awesome. Now, you can finish this egg, sure, in an oven or with a lid, or you can baste it, which you would do by tilting the pan towards you so the oil pools on one side. And flick the hot oil on top of just the white, not the yolk, just the white. Repeatedly till the white is cooked through and puffed. Not only does this add more flavor, cook your egg faster, well, actually, that's all it does. Moving on. Hot wok. High heat, a lot of oil. Once that's hot, crack an egg right in the center of that oil. I broke the yolk. Salt. You'll know it's almost done once it freely moves around the wok like this, which is really cool, by the way. He's like, ah! Cut off the heat, then using a slotted spoon, pop onto a plate, and that is a wok fried egg. Now, let me explain something. I accidentally broke the yolk. I think that's actually perfect that happened because the beauty of the wok fried egg is it's almost borderline deep fried. But because of the cooking surface, it still stays flat. So you end up getting these sort of like really lacy, super wispy, crispy edges, and it cooks the top without you having to really baste it. And yet, despite the fact that this yolk broke, you still have a runny egg yolk. Soft scrambled egg. This is the Gordon Ramsay method. Butter, pan. I'm starting at a medium-low heat. I don't want this pan to get too hot. Get the bottom nice and coated in butter. I'm not gonna wait for the butter to melt. It will melt as I cook. We've got scrambled eggs here. I'm gonna ladle that into the pan. You're gonna constantly stir, keeping the heat moderate. So as it starts to form curds, you're gonna be taking it on and off the heat to slow down the curd development process until it starts to come together to a soft scramble, which should look sort of like this. Heat off, touch of salt to taste, tiny little piece of butter, stir that in just until melted throughout. You can put some fresh cracked pepper. This is my next top pick in the basics, the soft scramble. Super rich, luxurious, creamy. I think most people will enjoy this on a piece of toast, something crispy, crunchy that, gives a little extra texture. Now what about hard scramble? This is the one recipe almost everyone knows how to make. Get a non-stick skillet over medium heat, you put some butter in, you add in your eggs, and then just stir and cook to your liking. Season and taste with salt and pepper, and place on a plate. This is a twofer, the soft-boiled and the hard-boiled. I have 2 equally sized eggs, both cold, going into boiling water. Gently, lid on. For soft-boiled, 6 minutes. For hard-boiled, about 8 to 10 minutes. We'll remove them at different times, ice them, and show you the inside. Now, a soft-boil is exactly what it sounds like. The white is fully cooked, but the yolk is as runny as possible. Sometimes you may end up with a little bit of a cooked ring, that happens, but generally speaking, it should be mostly runny and delectable. So a hard-boiled egg, basically fully cooked yolk. You can even take this farther until the yolks are powdery. I like them to have some texture. The point is they're completely firm. Woo, steamed egg. So we have boiling water, or basically a steam setup. We have a steamer basket. You can put as many eggs as you want in here. Put the lid on, and you just let that guy steam until it's cooked to your desired doneness. You let it steam, and then when it's done, you open the lid back up. That's so hot, you take your cooked egg, peel it, and you cut it, and it looks, well, like a hard-boiled egg. The coddled egg. We have an egg coddler. This is a silicone mold. You grease this little guy, crack an egg into your coddler, gently place the coddler in your steaming water, cover with a lid, and let that cook until your desired yolk doneness. Woo! I maybe would even serve it like the other way. You know, look, let me be honest. I don't like the presentation of this, but it works. For somebody who doesn't know how to poach, this would be a nice little thing, right? I'm sure. Baked egg, ramekin, greased egg, seasoned with salt, pop this in the oven at 375 Fahrenheit for about 10 minutes. You pull that guy out, and you effectively have a cooked egg. This one got a little overcooked. If you pull it a little earlier, or you kind of check on the egg intermittently, you'll end up with, like, you know, a soft runny yolk. If you wanted to serve your egg in the ramekin, if you have a runny yolk, you got little bits of toast, you dip it in, you eat it, you enjoy it. Good time, they're all right, I like these. Broiled, this is more of a cooking method. Ramekin, oil, egg, salt, and then under a broiler until just cooked through. I'm leaving my yolk runny. Now, you pull that bad boy out. If you're wondering, the yolk is runny. Look, I mean, this is just another way to get a runny egg yolk, right? There's a million ways, and now we're seeing that. Choose your own adventure. Poached, lightly boiling water. Season your water with salt, little splash of vinegar, white distilled, and egg cracked into a bowl or ramekin. Your hot water, you're gonna take a slotted spoon, starting in the center, and you're gonna start swirling the water. Create a whirlpool in the center. Then once you have a nice whirlpool, a nice strong one, you're gonna carefully drop in your egg right in the center of that whirlpool. Let that cook for 3 to 4 minutes. Pull it out with a slotted spoon, drain on a paper towel, and that is a beautiful poached egg. Look at that runny yolk. I put this on a piece of toast because that is my third and final top pick of this category. You get the benefit of the runny yolk. You get this unbelievably tender white. It's just a textural wonderland that lends itself to so many flavors. And if you like any sort of a runny yolk, there's no way you don't love a poached egg. That closes out the basic section. We've made it to the viral category. Feta eggs. So we have a non-stick pan over medium heat. In goes our feta, which should melt. Now, as that's melting, we're gonna make a little space in the center, to which we'll crack 1 egg in the center, a little salt to taste, a little cracked pepper, and they suggest pepper flakes. Cover that with a lid, and cook just till the whites are set. Pop that onto a hot tortilla, and I guess that's breakfast. The t-shirt egg. Supposedly you can scramble an egg in a shell if you put it in the sleeve of a shirt or sweater. You wind it up really tight, and then you quickly unravel it. After a few times, supposedly the inside should be scrambled. You pop that into a pot of boiling water and let it cook till hard boiled. About 8 minutes. So here it is, done boiled. We've done this about 30 times, and we keep just getting a hard-boiled egg. The sleeve of the shirt is frayed and tattered, and I would say its success rate whenever you do this is like maybe less than 10%. I'm sure there's a technique, but who gives a f? This is stupid, but it's a way you can cook an egg. Chili oil eggs. You're gonna kind of treat these like fried eggs. Chili oil goes into a small non-stick pan, medium heat, add in your egg, fry your egg, flip it optionally, place it on a plate. That is your chili oil egg. We're now at my first top pick of the 3 in this category. The one issue I do have with it, the crisp in the chili oil can kind of burn if you're not paying attention to it, but that said, it does taste good, and it gives me my favorite thing, a runny, beautiful yolk. It's imbued with chili flavor, spice, a little bit of umami from that MSG. A little crispier because of the crispy bits around the edge. It's got the spicy, it makes me say mommy. Tiger eggs. I've never made this before, another viral category. We have hot oil. The hard-boiled eggs go directly into the hot oil, and I guess they just kind of get a little color on them. Fry these just until golden brown on all sides. You ever seen a hard-boiled egg look like that before? To that, you're gonna add your sauce, which contains soy sauce, mirin, rice vinegar, gochujang, dried chilies, garlic cloves, a little bit of sugar, Thai chilies, but it ain't Texas unless, a little ice cold freedom in there. Bring that up to a boil, reduce till syrupy and the eggs are coated nicely. Pop into a bowl with a little bit of sauce, sesame seeds, green onion, and that's tiger eggs. Twice cooked eggs. How do you do that? Hard-boiled eggs, sliced in half, seared in a pan just like this. There's a little oil, about 2 to 3 minutes. You flip, and you've got coloration, a little bit of crispiness on the other side. And once these are done, pop them onto a plate. Little soy, sesame oil, chili oil, smoked paprika, salt, and pepper. I'm just following the directions. Another viral one, garlic butter eggs. This garlic butter contains butter, garlic, lemon pepper, parsley, red pepper, Tony Chachere's, Cajun seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, chili flakes, chili powder, paprika. That's it. Wow, they really went all out, huh? All right, you take that, spoon it over your eggs. We have hard-boiled eggs here. For some reason, paprika on top and some fresh parsley on top. The butter tastes great, but I mean, it's exactly what you think it is. Hypothetically, you can make this dish out of anything. Take hard-boiled eggs and put any sauce on it, and then it tastes like what the sauce is. Feels kind of lazy. Moving on. Cajun boiled eggs. Here we have a simmering pot of liquid. What is that? This is another garlic butter and boiled eggs. I don't know what's going on with this. Butter, onion, garlic, lemon juice, chicken stock, Cajun seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, Old Bay, paprika, crushed red pepper. To that, you're gonna add hard-boiled eggs, and then just let that simmer just until the hard-boiled eggs are heated throughout. Eggs into a bowl, cover with your Cajun stew stuff. Top with some fresh parsley, and that's what it is. Heavy cream eggs. Hot pan, heavy cream, touch of chili crisp, crack in an egg, top with a lid. I don't have a lid for this. Once that's done, take your lid off, pop that onto a plate, top with chives, touch more chili crisp, flaky salt. Moving on. This is probably one of the most viral egg sandwiches I have ever seen. Hot pan, butter, beaten eggs, thin layer, little salt, got pieces of bread. We're gonna dip and then flip that bread quickly, like that. All right, once those eggs are just about set, now get underneath these guys and do your best to flip this. American cheese, cooked bacon. Now we're gonna fold in the sides of our egg, fold that bad boy over, top of the other slice, and just toast it. All right, once that side's toasted, toast the other side. Oh yeah, it looks pretty solid. Paratha eggs. Non-stick pan, little oil, get it hot, add a thin layer of beaten eggs, add in a toasted paratha, let that cook down a little, give that a flip, add some cheddar cheese, bacon, green onion, avocado, chili crisp, fold it over, let it melt, and serve. And that's your paratha egg. This makes it as my second out of the top 3 on the viral category. It's almost like a breakfast taco combined with paratha. The paratha being flaky and melt in your mouth and buttery and rich and tender. In my opinion, better than a tortilla. It is very rich. If you serve this with like a nice like refreshing green salad, I think it's excellent. Moving on, sweet and sour eggs. We have fried eggs here in a pan. We're gonna add in our sweet and sour sauce, which consists of soy sauce, rice vinegar, ketchup, garlic, sugar, chili oil, and a little bit of water and cornstarch. Just let that cook down. All right, once your eggs are cooked through, that's gonna go directly on top of some steamed rice, along with some green onion and sesame seed. Bada bing, bada boom. Pesto egg, non-stick pan, medium heat, add pesto, let it get hot, add an egg, cover with a lid, cook, serve that on toast with sliced tomatoes, and that's it. I hate this. Breadcrumb eggs. We have breadcrumbs that have been toasting in a pan. You're gonna make 2 divots in the breadcrumbs. Crack in 1, 2, season taste with salt, top with some baby spinach. Yeah, I know, it's a bit weird. Cover with lid and steam until cooked. Remove your lid, slide that bad boy onto a plate. I don't know how I'd feel if I got this served to me, but here it is. Mayak egg, marinated egg. We have our marinade. In here we have vinegar, onion, garlic, green onion, chili pepper, toasted sesame seeds, soy sauce, honey or corn syrup. So as many boiled eggs as will fit in here and stay submerged go in. They're peeled, but they're not just boiled and peeled, they're soft boiled and peeled. Into the fridge, 12 hours minimum, 24 ideally. Then gently pull out your soft boiled eggs. And that is your Mayak egg. This would probably be great over rice. And guess what? The inside is beautifully soft. The deep fried egg. This is a soft boiled egg. We already showed you how to make that in a 3-compartment breading. Flour, egg wash, and then breadcrumb. You can also use panko. Deep fry it, 350 Fahrenheit, like 2 to 4 minutes till golden brown. Season with a little salt after you take it out. Slice that bad boy in half and you can see you have a deep fried soft boiled egg. Toad in the hole. We got bread. So you're gonna make your hole. Yep, that's a hole. Hot pan, butter, your bread, and then right in the center goes an egg. Let that cook with a lid. Once the egg is halfway cooked, add a touch more butter, give it a quick flip, cook the other side. Now in this extra bit of butter, I've got my hole. Toast that on both sides. Once that's done, get a plate, hit with a little bit of chives, maybe some fresh cracked black pepper, and top with your toasted round. If you make toad in the hole and you're making a bunch and you have a lot of these circles, you take your circles, you take some shredded mozz, and you're gonna kind of press that gently into the center of one. Take another one, place on top, and using a fork, you're going to crimp the edges. You're making something pretty sick, kind of like a little Uncrustable or ravioli. Back in your pan, medium heat, little butter, you're Uncrustable. You can repeat this with as many circlets as you like. Toast that on both sides, and it gets served to accompany your toad in the hole, which you can then dip, and yes, there's a cheese pull. The Chinese tomato egg. We have tomatoes that are being stewed in a a pan. In the tomatoes, we have white pepper, crushed pepper flakes, sesame oil, oyster sauce, and ginger. Cook them down until jammy. Push your tomatoes to one side, add green onions to your tomato. Then on the other side, you're gonna add 3 to 4 beaten eggs, season to taste with salt, scramble your eggs till just barely cooked through, and toss together. Cut the heat off, pour that over rice, top with green onion, and that is your Chinese tomato egg. Ridiculously delicious. This is really based off personal preference. Once you stewed your tomatoes and added eggs, it's really gonna be dependent on what you got, which is exactly why this goes in my top 3. Absolutely beautiful. Big fan. Now on to the classics. Starting with creamed eggs. God, that sounds bad. Here you have a bechamel. You're gonna add some diced hard-boiled eggs into that. Fold together nicely, season with salt, and plate on top of a piece of toast. You know, you can garnish it optionally, maybe some paprika. Souffle omelet. We have egg whites that have been whipped to stiff peaks. Egg yolks, whisked with just a little bit of heavy cream to loosen them. That'll then be folded together till combined. Season to taste with salt. Gently mix that in. Now we have a hot pan here, and we're gonna cook this like a normal omelet. Butter goes in the pan. Your souffle mixture goes in. Add on a lid. Let that cook for about a minute. Fold one side over the other, let it cook a bit longer, and serve. French omelet. Continue as if you were making a soft scrambled egg, and once those eggs begin to set, shake the pan aggressively to coat the entire bottom. Cut the heat off, let that set lightly, roll it up, and immediately serve on a plate. Do not leave it in the hot pan, it will overcook. You'll know you did it right if you slice it, and the inside has nice, soft cooked eggs. The country style omelet. Non-stick pan, add some butter, medium heat. Once the butter's melted, you're gonna add scrambled eggs, usually about 4 to an omelet, roughly. As the eggs set, bring the outsides towards the center repeatedly. Then once they're just barely set, you can add cheese on one side, fold it over, add a little extra knob of butter, toast the underside of the omelet, plate, and enjoy. Top 3 in classics, the country style omelet. The eggs are silky, they're tender, they've got a little browning, they've got some cheesy goodness on the inside. They're thin, they're wispy, they're toothsome, but they're not overcooked, and that's the key to this omelet. You have to move quick when you make this omelet if you want it to be properly tender. So just remember that note, and you'll be able to enjoy this beautiful omelet. Moving on. The tornado egg. I've never done this before, so hopefully this works. Non-stick pan, medium heat, a generous amount of oil. We have beaten eggs here. A lot of the time, it's suggested to pass that through a fine mesh sieve so that the albumin sets a little bit more aggressively as you turn it. And then using large chopsticks, start from the outside edges, slowly bring the eggs to the center, and turn the pan and pray to God. This took about 20 attempts till we got it right. I would not recommend this recipe. The egg crepe. We're gonna make a crepe. Got a hot pan that's been oiled up. Crepe batter in. We got our oversized crepe, which I'm checking for looseness. That bad boy cooked. Once it's cooked, you'll give them a little flip. At this stage, we're gonna keep the heat on. Crack an egg in center, like that. Fold your sides over again. Again, you see we're folding a square here. You're gonna leave that on medium-low heat. Put a lid on, let that steam until the egg is just cooked through, but the yolk is running. And that's an egg crepe. Migas. Non-stick pan, olive oil, tomato, onion, jalapeno in, saute. Once that's softened, add 3 to 4 scrambled eggs. A little more salt to taste. Scramble the eggs. Once those are just barely set, cut off the heat. Add in crushed tortilla chips and fold together. You just go onto the plate. Garnish with cilantro optionally, and enjoy. Tamago yaki. 4 eggs into a bowl. A scant tablespoon of sugar. About 1 to 2 tablespoons of a nice dashi or sheer dashi. A bunch of salt, and just whisk it until homogenized. Now we have a tamago yaki pan heated over medium heat. You're gonna brush your tamago yaki pan lightly with oil. You're gonna pour a thin layer of your batter into your tamago yaki pan. Fill it out nicely. Just let that thin layer cook. And just as that begins to set, I'm going to carefully roll that up and over itself. Flatten it out. Now, once that's fully set and you have a log, you're gonna push that log away from you, farthest end of the pan. You're gonna brush it again with oil. Very thin layer. Again, let it set completely. You're gonna rinse and repeat this, pouring and rolling and pouring and rolling. And then once it reaches about this size, you're gonna place it in a bamboo sushi roller, let it rest for about 3 minutes to shape, and that is your tamagoyaki. Egg drop soup. So I have a cornstarch slurry, I have a seasoned chicken stock. Stir in our cornstarch slurry just until it's slightly thickened. I don't like my egg drop soup super duper thick. So the way I've always seen is people will kind of hang the tines of a fork here. Light simmer. We're gonna start whisking. We're gonna take beaten eggs, gently pour them through the tines of a fork. Now the purpose of the tines of the fork for me is you just get wispier threads. You can season however you want. I like shirdashi in my egg drop soup. Is it legal? No, but it tastes really good. Put it in a bowl, green onion on top, enjoy. Ice cream base. We have egg yolks in a bowl. In there goes sugar, salt. That gets ferociously whisked together. Once that lightens up in color, that's where our hot milkies come in. We have milk and cream heating. Once that's a steamy heat, pour your milk mixture into your egg yolk mixture, whisking it in. Do that a few times till your eggs are just hot enough. Pour them back into the pot, stir, and let that cook over low heat until thickened. You can add vanilla extract or vanilla bean and set that in an ice cream maker until ice cream is made. Egg foo young. Ground pork, hot pan. So you're gonna cook your pork down so it'll just cook through. Now you're gonna add your green onion, Chinese celery, soy sauce, cut off the heat, meat and veg into a bowl, small sauce pot. You're gonna add soy sauce, water, rice vinegar, sugar, chicken stock. Then you're gonna whisk in cornstarch, cold. Set that over medium heat, stirring frequently until thickened like this. To that you're gonna add bean sprouts and 6 beaten eggs. Non-stick pan over medium heat, add just enough oil to cook the bottom. Spoon in some of your veg to fill out a small pan. Pour a thin layer of your egg mixture. Let that cook until set. Cook the other side for another 30 to 45 seconds. Set on a plate, top with your sauce, green onions, and a little bit of toasted sesame seed. Indonesian soy sauce fried eggs. So we have sauteing green onion, garlic. To that, we're gonna add 2 whole eggs. Now we're gonna cook just till the whites are set. We're gonna use a lid. We're gonna add our sauce, which is a mixture of this. Optionally, you can spoon some of your sauce on top of the eggs just to cook the white. Once that turns syrupy and the eggs are cooked, it's gonna go directly over a bowl of steamed rice, topped with green onions, sesame seeds, and that's it. Çilber. This is a Turkish egg dish that starts with one of our classics, the poached egg, but it's the way you serve it that makes this special. Poached egg out of our water. We have a spiced, garlicky, herbaceous yogurt in here, to which on top we will add our poached egg right in the center, and then a nice drizzle of an olive oil that we cook some spicy peppers in to look beautiful. And that's it. You can serve this with some flatbread. You can eat this straight up. That's Çilber. Menemen. This is debated whether or not this has onions in here. So we have onion, green bell pepper, red bell pepper, tomatoes, all cooked down beautifully right here in a pan. You're gonna push this all to one side, and then on the other side, we're gonna add some beaten eggs, about 3 to 4. Gently stir the egg side, just until barely set. We're gonna fold them together, pop that into a bowl, optionally top with parsley, little chili flake, optionally some flaky salt, and serve with sliced bread. Jjidan, using eggs as garnish. This is typically seen in things like Korean dishes. You separate the yolk from the white of an egg, and then you cook them in a thin layer over medium heat in a non-stick pan. Now we have both the white and the yolk. You roll it up into almost like a little cigar, and then you just gently chiffonade each. The point is to essentially use them as a garnish. Moving on. Cloud egg. I've actually never made one of these before, but it starts with a very simple egg white that has been whipped, aka a meringue. Spoon that onto a parchment-lined baking sheet and make yourself a little cloud. Make a little divot. Now, this is gonna go into the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for about 4 to 6 minutes. All right, that's done. When it's puffed and just beginning to brown, to that you'll add 1 egg yolk right in the center like that. Look at that, dude. Like a puffy egg. Pop that back into the oven for 3 to 4 more minutes. Once that's done, pull it out. Pop that onto a plate. A little flaky salt, a little peppy, and enjoy. Souffle eggs, whipped egg whites, and a bechamel with tempered egg yolks in it. So you're gonna add the tempered egg yolk bechamel to your whipped egg whites, and you're gonna gently fold that together. Try and maintain that structure of the whites. We have a ramekin. It's been generously greased. Fill that up halfway with your souffle mixture into an oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 15 to 18 minutes. Now, once that's done and puffed, let that cool slightly, but still served warm. Take a sharp knife or a offset spat, loosen from the sides. Now you could eat this out of the ramekin, which I probably would suggest just because it's a bit difficult to get out, but I'm gonna get it out for you just to show that nice interior. That's your souffle egg. A frittata. This can be made with anything, but we have a red bell pepper, yellow onion that have been sauteed nicely, a little bit of color on them. Once those are nice and soft, you're gonna add 8 to 10 eggs, a little bit of salt to taste, and to that we're gonna add a little bit of milk, a little bit of heavy cream. We're gonna lightly stir that. I'm adding some grated Gouda or Gruyere, a little bit of feta. Now just pop that bad boy into an oven at 350 Fahrenheit. This is on convection, anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes. Pull out, pop that onto a plate, serve in wedges, just like a pie, and enjoy. Quiche. We have a cooked pie crust here. You're gonna need 8 eggs into a bowl. To that, you're gonna add milk and cream, and just beat that together till homogeneous. To your pie mold, you're gonna add your egg base. Add in some cooked onion. This can be caramelized or just sauteed in a little bit of butter, some cold cooked bacon, and finally, a little bit of grated Gruyere or Gouda cheese. Now pop that into an oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 40 to 50 minutes. Now once that's done, it should be browned. And once that's cool, you should be able to pop it right out of your pan, real easy, and then cut that. And that is your quiche. It's a beautiful thing. Shirred egg. Grease your ramekin lightly, crack in an egg, add a splash of cream, fresh grated parm, into the oven, set to 375 Fahrenheit for 8 to 10 minutes. Once that's cooked to your desire, either runny yolk or hard yolk, up to you, but the benefit of a runny yolk is when you serve this bad boy, instead of serving it with a spoon, serve it with little toasted fingers of bread. And you take your bread, dunk it in there, and then boom, runny yolk that gets mixed with the heavy cream, the cheese, the egg white. This is the beauty of a shirred egg. Then you just eat and enjoy. Breakfast strata, medium-sized bowl. inside that. 12 beaten eggs, diced ham, green onion, grated cheddar, grated Gouda, roasted chopped peppers, garlic powder and mustard powder. Mix together, pour in milk, season generously with salt, and finally fold in stale torn bread. Sit in the fridge overnight. Next day, you've got a 9x13 baking dish, lined with parchment paper. You're gonna pour that whole mixture into that, spread it out evenly, pop into the oven. 350 Fahrenheit for 50 to 60 minutes. Done. Breakfast strata make you wanna say da. Spanish tortilla. So you start with confit, thinly sliced potatoes. These have been confit in olive oil, a little bit of salt. Once they're just cooked through, we're gonna add some beaten eggs, 6 to 8 of them. Just let that cook until it's about halfway set. We're gonna pop this under a broiler until the top is just barely cooked through. It'll be anywhere between 5 to 8 minutes. Let it cool just for a bit before you invert it. Well, these are the little flaky cell on top. Typically, you would let this cool before serving, let it get flat, but you could also serve it hot if you wanted to. Shakshuka. You got a spicy tomato sauce, maybe a little bit of harissa, some garlic, some onions cooked down, little olive oil, right? I'm gonna crack in 4 eggs. You can do more eggs if you want. I'm just doing 4 to keep it chill. Transfer this to an oven at 350, about 6 to 8 minutes, or until the eggs are cooked to your liking. Pull it out of the oven. The eggs should be just cooked through. The whites are cooked, the yolk is runny. Top with feta, crumbled directly on top. Some fresh cilantro. Serve hot with toast. Enjoy. Croque Madame. We have a ham and cheese sandwich that's been toasted over here that I'm now putting a fine, beautiful, luxurious bechamel on top. Generous mound of Gruyere into a hot oven or under a broiler just until melted and colored. Once that's brown and bubbling, just like this right here, top with a fried or poached egg. A little salt in the egg and enjoy. Scalloped eggs. I've never heard of this before. I'm following a recipe that suggests slicing your hard-boiled eggs, scalloping them in a pan, basically fanning them out in a baking dish of some sort. And you're gonna top that with Mornay sauce. And finally, some breadcrumb, then into the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 15 to 20 minutes. When you pull it out, it should be browned and bubbling like this. It's an interesting dish. I think if you're really in love with hard-boiled eggs, this is a way to fancify it. Cured egg yolks. We have a 2-to-1 salt to sugar mix. That's gonna go onto a sheet tray. We're gonna make a nice little light mound, and then in that, a little divot. You'll then crack your egg, separate out the yolk, and then gently place that egg into your salt mound, and then cover with your cure. Just let that sit. Cover with plastic wrap into the fridge 4 to 6 days. Now, when you take your egg yolks out, they'll look like this. You can now hold them, they're firm to the touch. Rinse this off, and you're gonna place this in a dehydrator specifically, or a very low oven. I mean, really low. Then once it's hard, you can grate it just like a nice Parmigiano Reggiano. The reason why this is my top pick is because it can be used for so many things. You can use it like cheese. You can add different flavorings to the cure and make it taste like that. It also emulsifies just like any other egg yolk. You can add it to pasta and it'll get creamy. Amazing carbonaras with this. It's an unstoppable ingredient. Pickled eggs. It sounds gross because I think it is. I have a guide on how to pickle anything. Any of those pickle liquids will work. This one has all sorts of things like bay leaves and different aromatics, salt, vinegar, sugar, water. That's it. Any pickle liquid you want. From there, you'll add any amount of hard-boiled eggs to that. They're peeled. Obviously, make sure they stay submerged, and you leave them in the fridge. The longer they stay in here, the more pickled they get. This is supposed to make the shelf life almost infinite, supposedly. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at that, dude. I don't like pickled eggs. I'm not gonna eat that. But if you like them, that's how they're made, so. Tea eggs. This is a very, very popular recipe. There are many ways to make a tea egg. It's up to you. This marinade contains soy sauce, bay leaves, Sichuan peppercorn, star anise, cinnamon stick, sugar, salt, black tea, and water. To this, hard-boiled eggs in the shell, and you're gonna lightly crack all around that shell and drop that bad boy in there. Let that marinate in the fridge at least overnight, 12 to 24 hours. 24 hours is better though. Now the next day when they come out, they should come out, well, marinated. Look at that, dude. But then when you peel them, you get this sort of marble pattern like this, right? Now, obviously, the more you marinate them, the darker this will get. This is only marinated for about 12 hours, 24 hours, it'll be darker, and those will taste like whatever you marinate them in. Isn't that beautiful? Moving on. Deviled eggs. You take some hard-boiled eggs, you take the yolks out, you beat them with some mayo and flavors. That's it. That's what you get. Add herbs, add fine mustards, just add something, turn them into a nice paste. Make sure to season them with salt. Put that bad boy into a piping bag. Pipe it into your shells of cooked white and just pipe it up, dude. Top with a little bit of chive, maybe some paprika. You could put crispy bacon or crispy guanciale on top. There are no rules when it comes to a deviled egg. Eggs Jeanette. So you're gonna need hard-boiled eggs. You take out the yolks, you make a yolk paste with the cooked yolks, garlic, parsley, a little bit of milk, salt, and pepper. Very, very simple. That paste then goes back into your eggs, level that out, and we have a hot pan over here with a little bit of oil. Once it's ripping hot, you're gonna sear those cut side down. Once those are seared to a golden brown, about 2 minutes, pop them onto a plate, and you'll top them with a dressing consisting of leftover filling mixed with olive oil, Dijon, and a little bit of water. Egg salad. Underrated, underappreciated. Makes a great sandwich, so on and so forth. Diced hard-boiled eggs go into a small bowl, along with any mayo-based sauce you want. This has mayo, garlic, Cajun spices, green onion, chives, whatever, I don't care. Make it taste good. Add a little bit of acid. That goes in, fold together gently, and that is it. Egg salad done. The biggest differentiator here is how you flavor it and how small you cut your eggs. It just depends on the purpose. Incredible. A prairie oyster. It's an egg yolk with salt, pepper, Worcestershire sauce, hot sauce, or vinegar. Then you just shoot it. If you think I'm gonna do that, you're out of your fucking mind. That's disgusting. It doesn't even work as a hangover cure anyway. Egg cutlet. Seasoned breadcrumbs with parsley, garlic, Parmesan, a little bit of oil. And then to that, we're gonna add just enough beaten eggs to form it into almost like a paste that's easily formable. So don't add too much. Now, once that comes together into a nice cohesive paste, form them into small little patties, kind of like this right here. Then we're gonna shallow fry that in a pan over medium-high heat to a crispy golden brown on both sides. And that is your egg cutlet. These are interesting. Let's try it. This almost reminds me of some sort of Italian-American falafel. I like it. Son-in-law egg. I got a soft-boiled egg here, peeled beautifully, going into some hot oil. Nothing on it, no breading at all. You're deep frying this bad boy. I'm slightly afraid of this, so I'm gonna put a lid on it. Once that bad boy's golden brown like that, so the outside's crispy, the inside's nice and ooey gooey, mommy. In the bottom of a bowl, a little fish sauce reduced with sugar until caramelized. You can add aromatics like garlic if you want. In go your eggs, fried shallots, garnished with sliced chilies. That can be sliced like this. They can also be rounds, fresh cilantro. And that is a son-in-law egg. Scotch egg. I already have a recipe for this. You just drop it in some frying oil. This is sausage wrapped, soft boiled egg. They usually use hard boil. I go soft boil because that's the right way to do it. Bread crumb, deep fried. Once the golden brown sausage boy comes out, season all over lightly with salt while it's still hot. Let that rest about a minute or two. That's a Scotch egg. Deep fried breadcrumbing on the outside, a layer of cooked sausage, and beautifully oozing, soft boiled eggs. Eggs Benedict. You know how this is made? We got toasted English muffin, seared Canadian bacon straight from Canada, poached eggs, then you just top with a nice quality hollandaise. Now optionally, but not a total necessity, you can always add a little bit of cayenne or smoked paprika. I also like to add chives because it looks nice. Eggs Florentine. Spinach that's been cooked in heavy cream. Flaky salt on that. Poached egg. Top with hollandaise. Touch of chili pepper. That is your eggs Florentine. Breakfast tacos. Treat it like a sandwich, but a taco, right? Scramble your egg. Once that's just about there, we're gonna add a little bit of cheese atop the egg. Cover with the lid, melt the cheese. Once that's melted, put that on your tortilla. You can put other toppings on it, like hash browns. Then you can serve that with any kind of salsa you want. Leave it on the side. Enjoy the taco. Chawanmushi. Steamed egg. About 6 beaten eggs, 2 cups of dashi, teaspoon of mirin, some soy sauce, generous pinch of salt. Stir together till combined, and then you get yourself a chawanmushi bowl. Pour in your egg mixture, barely to the line, cover with your lid, and then place in a steamer basket. Set in a pot with shallow simmering water. Cover with the lid, 10 to 15 minutes. Take the lid off and you should be greeted with a custardy jiggle. Top with whatever you want. I did chili oil, green onion, and toasted sesame seed. Enjoy. The Korean steamed egg, same thing, bowl. Around 6 beaten eggs yet again. Anchovy stock, suja, which is basically little baby shrimp. Thinly sliced green onion, salt to taste. Give that a little stir, and then into one of these guys, a little earthen bowl. We're gonna fill about halfway up. Cover with the lid, set directly over a stove, over medium heat. Now once the bottom of the egg's set, you're gonna give it a light stir, reduce the heat to low, and just let that cook until lightly custardy throughout. Take the lid off, and yes, another beautiful custard topped with toasted sesame seeds and toasted sesame oil. Now this is the Chinese steamed egg. It's very similar to the other ones, different ingredients, but it's just eggs, water, and salt, steamed. You can also do this in a ramekin, top with a little bit of sesame oil, thinly sliced chives, and a little bit of light soy. Then you just enjoy. Egg McMuffin, which is literally just toasted English muffin, American cheese, melted, a big puck of egg, and seared ham. Place your top half of your English muffin, toasted of course, on top, and that is your Egg McMuffin. Yes, we have a recipe for it. The basic breakfast sandwich, starting with a scrambled egg, butter, hot pan, eggs, salty, ooh, ah. Scramble your eggs. This is how I like to do it. I bring them all to the center, right? You're gonna add 2 slices of American cheese, pop a little lid. The heat is off. Remove your lid, the cheese is melted, oh my God. We have some toast with some ham that's been heated on top. Cheesy egg goes on top. Top with your other toasted bread. And that is your breakfast sandwich. New York City bodega sandwich. Similar to the OG breakfast sandwich, but there's a specific production. First, scrambled eggs. Melt American cheese only, no other cheese on top. Then specifically on a Kaiser roll, you're gonna add ketchup on one side and mayo on the other side. Bacon, your cheesy eggs, crown your king, and that is your New York City bodega sandwich. Bacon, egg, and cheese, mayo, ketchup, salt, pep, how I like it. This is one of my top picks for this category. Cheers. This is one of those few items I would say is just perfect as it is. There are some small personal preferences, right? But once you've solidified how you like it, it doesn't get any better than that. It is exactly what it should be. It's got all the flavors you want in a breakfast sandwich. This is the only place you'll ever find me putting a fucking ketchup on an egg. Because if there's anywhere it belongs, it's on a bodega sandwich. Kicking off our gadget section with the air fryer. You have an aluminum foil boat into your air fryer. Preheat this with your air fryer. Once that's preheated, spray a little bit of oil, crack an egg into that boat. Hell yeah. After 3 minutes, this looks like bad plastic surgery. That is an air fried egg, my friends. But the yolk is still runny. All in all, I cooked the egg all right. Next gadget, the egg rollie. Once it turns green, spray with oil, crack it in an egg. Yes, it will fart. Oh my God, what the is that? Eat up, kids. The microwaved omelet. What's this? It's definitely not a bedpan, even though it looks like it. This is a microwavable omelet pan. Grease that bad boy up. Ladle in some beaten egg on both sides. On one side, we're gonna add mozzarella cheese and some cold crumbled up bacon. Open up your portal to hell, your microwave. 2 minutes. Try to make a move and I thought it right for me. I'm sure this would be helpful for some, and I will never do this again. The microwave poach. Here's a microwave poacher. In that goes an egg. A wee bit of, they say to prick the yolk. We close this. We just pop this bad boy in the microwave. 30 seconds, dude. It's done. Now we just let it steam a little bit according to the directions, 1 minute. Time to open this up and ta-da! Oh, now that's a poached egg right there. Microwave scrambled eggs. Microwave safe bowl into the microwave. 30-second intervals, stirring in between each until your desired doneness. Oh boy. Yeah, break that up a little bit. We're scrambling eggs here. Back in the microwave you go, pal. Oh yeah, those are scrambled eggs right there. We'll give those another 30 and I think they're done. It's actually not bad. Better than in most diners. A griddle. You crack an egg on a hot griddle, season with salt, let it cook. I prefer a carbon steel or some form of a large cast iron griddle. But this will do just fine too, because this is just one giant hot plate. Now once that's nearly set, scoop underneath. That's pretty much it. You just pop that bad boy onto a plate and you have a nicely cooked over easy egg. This is one of my top picks because when you are making breakfast for a lot of people and you want a lot of sunny side up or over easy or whatever fried eggs, the griddle will be your best friend because you can do multiple eggs at once and it will yield a consistent, beautiful product. The rapid egg cooker. You take eggs, you put them in the rapid cooker. Put the lid on. And then the amount of water you put in this determines how they get cooked. Turn it on, and now we wait. It's done! Woo! Yeah! This is basically an egg steamer. It is cool, but let's not waste any time peeling this. It's a hard-boiled egg. If you really love hard-boiled eggs, this might be kind of cool because I guess, I don't know. Grilled. We have a hot grill. We got our ring mold lined with foil and an egg cracked right in there. Pop on your lid until it's cooked through, but the yolk is still running. The cold smoked egg. We have our smoke gun. We have hickory smoke. We have a poached egg sitting in here. We're just gonna let this sit. It's smoky, wow. George Foreman. So you whip that bad boy open, you spray both sides. Boom, take an egg. This is probably not what this is meant for, but hey, we're gonna give it a shot anyway. Crack that on there, all right, close it. This is 100 ways to cook an egg, not 100 good ways. I don't care what you have to say. This is the fastest egg we've cooked all day today. And then you put a little piece of toast there, right? Boom, right on the toast. And is the yolk good? Wow, what the It tastes like the millions of burnt steaks we put on this. No! Sous vide. Drop them into your sous vide, 63 Celsius. For 45 minutes. And when they're done, fish them out and then ice them. Once they're done, you just crack them on top of whatever you want to put a poached egg on and boom, you have an instant poached egg. Salt, some fresh cracked black pepper. This is one of my other top picks for this category. Perfect texture. If you want a poached egg on rice or on toast and you don't want to poach a bunch in water, you can have these poached eggs set to the side and crack them directly on top of whatever you want your poached egg on, including Eggs Benedict. Highly recommended, but also it's a fancy, nice to have. An egg cooked under pressure. So into a pressure cooker, there's a tiny little bit of water in the bottom and a steam pan above that. Pressure cook for 5 minutes. Once the timer runs out, let it naturally release the pressure, open it up, and you should have a boiled egg. Wow, look at that. It worked. At this stage, we have cooked so many eggs, I'm just not peeling them anymore. You can see that that's boiled. This is an egg bite cooker. I'm assuming this is kind of like the egg bites at Starbucks. Spray them with oil, add some beaten eggs, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of bacon, pop the lid on, let it do its thing. The light turned green, so I'm assuming it's done. Those are egg bites. Slow cooker, butter, some beaten eggs, lid on, put it on high for 4 hours, stirring occasionally. And what you end up with is a low effort sauce scramble, except you have to wait 4 hours. This is ridiculous. No. The next one I don't feel good about, blowtorch. We have an egg in a ring mold. I mean, if you think this is gonna turn out good, you're crazy. But hey, you know, there's always something to learn, isn't there? I cooked it pretty fast. It's raw underneath. I'm just gonna say no. Automatic omelet cooker. It's a waffle maker, but it has omelet holes. Spray both sides, put some egg in there. Look, the benefit of this, I guess, is you can put cheese on one side and you can put bacon on the other. These are 2 separate omelets. They're not gonna get folded together. Now we wait for the light to turn green. Wowie. Give it one of these. Again, I don't understand why people can't just use a pan. If I was served this at a restaurant, I would be extremely upset. If I was served this at a friend's house, I'd be like, damn, are you okay, homie? Are you okay? Dehydrated egg. To that, you're gonna add water. Just whisk that bad boy together, dude. All right, we got a hot pan. We're gonna add some butter to our pan. All right, once that's hot, add your egg stuff and cook just like eggs. Season with a little salt. All right, cut off the heat and we have cooked eggs. Can a rice cooker do it? Pop it open, boom, egg. Pop it on the steam setting. Once it does its little song, take it out, hot, and that's the exact same thing. Oh, that's actually kind of a nice cook. An egg poacher pan. Get these little slots here, spray them with oil, there's a little water in the bottom, and then you just literally gently crack an egg in each of these little holes. Cover it up, and then let that simmer till the whites are cooked, but the yolk is still running, which could be anywhere between 3 to 4 minutes. You can serve them in this, or you can literally just dump them right out. You essentially have a poached egg. Now, I said poached was one of my favorite eggs of all time, and it still is, but does this version of a poach hold up? What is that? It is a sack of plastic wrap with an egg in it, tied tightly, so that I guess it makes it easier for people to poach an egg. No swirling required. You just drop your little ball sack in there, and if I pull up to someone's house and I see these ball sacks floating around in your water, I'm gonna have a problem. Hey, Jim, good to see you. Wow. Pull it out of the water, set it on your plate. This is gonna be delicious. So it appears that the plastic wrap and the egg white has become the same person. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this is a little silly. This may be helpful for some. I would not recommend it. Thank you. Waffle egg. So you spray a waffle iron, add some beaten eggs, close the lid. Let it cook till the light turns green. Wow, they're done. Look, oh, what the is going on? Almost no benefit to that. Pizza oven, can it cook an egg? We have a sheet tray here, we have an egg here. Crack it on your hot sheet tray, and then into your pizza oven. Let that rip on high, bada bing, bada boom. Fastest egg cook ever. This was like less than 15 seconds. This is another one of my top picks because I love my pizza oven. The reason why is because it's a tool that you wouldn't expect to work shockingly well. And you can do a lot of eggs at once. You could fill a whole tray with eggs, throw them in, blast them, take them out, make a quick flatbread, put the eggs on, garnish with some fresh herbs, maybe a vinaigrette, and enjoy. So which were all of our top ones? These are all of my top pick, most frequent ways that I like to cook an egg, and also what I would argue are the best. But listen, any of these options are totally viable and would work for you. 100 of them. Subscribe, I love you, goodbye.